This is a story about one of your neighbors. You may not know this neighbor well, but he plays a vital role in your business and private life. This neighbor is the one who keeps your cars running and commerce moving. Your local petroleum distributor and his counterparts throughout the country play a major role in the supply of petroleum products. The petroleum supply network begins with crude oil extracted from oil fields, which is then transported to the refinery, where the unprocessed oil is refined into usable products. A multitude of petroleum products are placed in storage tanks at the refinery or transported to regional terminals by pipeline. The petroleum marketer then either picks up the finished product in his transport tanker truck or has it delivered via common carrier to his bulk storage tanks or to a retail outlet. Petroleum marketers also distribute products to farms, school districts, construction sites, and other local users. When the word gasoline is mentioned, most people think of major oil companies like Chevron and ExxonMobil that focus primarily on oil exploration and refining. While local gas stations may display a Sinclair or ConocoPhillips sign, most are not owned and operated by these major oil companies, but are owned by independent distributors known as petroleum marketers. Many of these independent distributorships are small, while others are fairly large companies employing several hundred people. In years gone by, petroleum marketers were strictly wholesalers, but no longer. As marketing strategies and tactics have changed, the petroleum marketer is more often a combination wholesaler-retailer, serving the needs of each local community. Petroleum marketers make deliveries to farm accounts, home heating oil customers, commercial and industrial customers, but they also supply and operate your local gasoline stations and convenience stores. There are primarily two classifications of petroleum marketers. First are those who sell a major oil company's brand, such as Texaco, Valero, or Tesoro. These companies are franchised by the major oil companies who provide advertising support, customer credit cards, trademark, and recognizable brand identification. Second are those who are not franchised by a major oil company. These distributors buy unbranded gasoline on the open market, often from the same supplier as their branded counterparts. Both types of distributorships, branded and unbranded, are locally owned, independent petroleum marketing businesses, your local connection, and a vital link in our global petroleum market. In the past, the independent marketers were in direct competition with the major oil companies' own gas stations. Now, less than 3% of retail locations are owned by the major oil companies. Today's competition comes from grocery chains and mass merchandisers who often use gasoline as a loss leader to drive traffic into their stores. Independent petroleum marketers have to adapt by diversifying and expanding their lines of merchandise, or by expanding their businesses with convenience stores, car washes, and fast food outlets. Even more challenging for your petroleum marketer are the many regulatory and legislative issues, which are often excessive and financially devastating. While some environmental regulations are necessary, overregulation is a cost burden to the marketer, which is often passed along to the consumer in the form of higher gas prices. When wholesale and retail prices increase, so do the marketer's costs. Accounts receivables increase, in-store sales diminish, and more consumers use credit cards to pay for their gasoline. Credit card fees have become the second largest expense after payroll. In addition, retail profit margins decrease because competition on the street generally keeps margins the same as they are when prices are low. This has forced many small marketers out of business. This may not be too noticeable in large cities, but in small communities, the impact can be extreme. The price and availability of petroleum products fluctuate based on supply and seasonal demand, and petroleum marketers are as much a victim of supply and demand for energy products as the customers they serve. Swift price increases in crude oil have hurt the marketer as much as the consumer. Still, even with all these concerns, your local petroleum marketer takes very seriously the commitment and responsibility to meet the energy requirements of the community. In addition to being a local employer, taxpayer, and tax collector, The Petroleum Marketer has a significant investment in property and equipment ranging from several $100,000 into the millions. These investments include trucks, bulk storage plants, warehouses, main office, and, as we mentioned before, the buildings, land, and equipment for each convenience store, supplied or operated. All these things contribute to the deep commitment your neighborhood marketer has made to the community. Petroleum marketers are truly neighbors serving neighbors. When it comes to petroleum products, the marketer is the neighborhood connection, bringing fuel to the end user to meet the demands of the everyday consumer. The petroleum business is a complicated, ever-changing industry, and the petroleum marketers face the challenge of new technology, diversification, marketing upheavals, fierce competition, and a myriad of state and federal laws and regulations governing their business. To ensure the petroleum marketer's operation meets these challenges, the majority of local marketers are members of their state trade association and regional associations, like the Western Petroleum Marketers Association, the WPMA, a 7-state voluntary trade association in Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, and Washington, and PMAA, a National Federation of Petroleum Marketers State Associations. As PMAA, WPMA, and state association members, local marketers from throughout the region attend annual trade shows exhibiting the latest in petroleum equipment and business-related innovations, and conventions with educational seminars to keep them abreast of industry and governmental developments. With the help of state, regional, and national organizations, your local petroleum marketer is a stronger, more viable, and efficient partner in your community. We hope you've enjoyed this introduction to your neighborhood petroleum marketer, business owner, community leader, and neighbors serving neighbor, the backbone of petroleum distribution for you and all the residents of your community, your local connection to the dynamic world of petroleum marketing.